Action. I've got Spencer and Pop here in the Lightning 100 studio. Good morning, gentlemen, and thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So we were actually just talking about late nights / early mornings. You guys, is there any point where you're up at this time, like singing and playing?
Singing and playing, I try to avoid before noon as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
But that's okay. This is a special occasion.
No, I'm normally sleeping.
Yeah. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. But excited to have you guys open up our live broadcast this Sunday out at 3rd and Lindsley. So for those listening that maybe are not quite familiar with Pump Action, we were talking a little bit here in the studio, and I was actually reading too, and you've already thrown up the U. So you guys all met at University of Miami and then relocated here, right?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about how the band came together and how long you've been here in Nashville.
So we all got to University of Miami 2019 for our freshman year at the Frost School of Music, and I always had a dream of starting a band growing up, and so I made it my mission as soon as I got to school.
Okay.
I heard about a fantastic drummer that was coming into the program, which ended up being our drummer in our band. So I had my drummer locked down.
Nice.
I heard Spencer at a local coffee house pretty quickly into...
Like an open mic night kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's my singer. And then we were doing that for like a month and then decided we need another guitar player. Kind of were looking around and I was really pushing for this dude named Trent. He was in one of my classes. The other two didn't know him. And turns out it ended up being the right fit.
Yeah?
So since 2019, we started doing cover shows, then worked towards originals, and then became very clear to us that there was a path to do like an original project and really push this thing. So then decided to move to Nashville after our graduation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that's, and I should mention that, Pop, you're the bass player. So when finding the drummer first, you got to lock that rhythm section in, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And where did you come from different places to Miami before coming to Nashville? Like, where are you originally from, Pop?
I'm from Baltimore.
Okay.
I'm from Atlanta.
Atlanta.
And Jack, our drummer, is from Philly, and our guitar player, Trent, is from San Antonio. So we're kind of from all over the country.
And I would imagine, too, that that would mean on some levels that all maybe similar influences, but different ones as well.
I would argue that they're probably not that similar.
Really?
Which is, I think that's kind of what makes our music really interesting, is that we have like fans of classic rock, we have fans of hip hop and soul music and R&B and metal. Like all of that comes together in like a really interesting way for us to be like this funky indie band kind of vibe.
Yeah. And when did you guys you said you decided, hey, let's move to Nashville. When did you guys arrive here in town?
July of 2023.
2023. Okay.
I was here 2 weeks after graduation in May.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going on a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost
okay.
2 years.
All right.
Almost
So,
2 years.
and we were talking a little bit. I did see that you've got, for those that might be streaming us right now, which we are streaming video as well, volume.com/lightning100, which is not only a way to see and hear what's happening here in the studio right now, but you can also catch our Nashville Sunday night through that same link. So I'm going to shut up now, but would love for you guys to play a couple of songs for us. Cool. I think you're going to play 2, right?
Yes, yeah.
Which one would you like to play first, and tell us a little bit about it?
We'll do Blood Thinner first. This one was a single that we released a couple of years ago now at this point, or maybe even it was like 2023 that we put this song out. This was, I think, the first one that we recorded once we got to Nashville. So it's been on the burner for a little while. And this one's out. You can listen to it on all streaming platforms at Pump Action, anywhere you find music.
Yes, and pumpactionofficial.com is the website. We've got Pop and Spencer here in the studio, and now here's a live version of Blood Thinner on Lightning 100.
Can you play that G for me? Let's take it down for a minute. Well, I know that's not your style. I have spent so many nights with my exit routes on file. Just a quiet conversation. If you can find it in yourself. They say to get to heaven, you have to go through hell. Hell. You Now you're begging for forgiveness. Now you wanna be a man. Well, I'm 100 miles away, so catch me if you can. You hold me together when I wanna fall apart. Well, I don't think forever's supposed to be quite this hard. You gave me everything, now you wanna take it all away. When blood's thinner than water, it can't stop an open flame. Oh, there's nothing left for me anyway. A closet full of skeletons that I don't wanna see. When did those boxes get so heavy? The final boarding call, but my train just won't leave. Oh, you hold me together when I wanna fall apart. Well, I don't think forever's supposed to be quite this hard. You gave me everything, now you wanna take it all away. When blood's thinner than water, it can't stop an open flame. Hey.
Yes, indeed. Lightning 100. That is Pump Action. Well, that is half of Pump Action. That's
Yeah.
Pop and Spencer here in the Lightning 100 studio with a track that one of the first, right, that you wrote once you got here to Music
Yeah.
City.
Yeah. That was one of the first ones that we cranked out once we got here. It's
And
in the water here for some reason.
And yeah, I've heard that from quite a few artists here
Yeah.
in the studio, and definitely can kind of pick up on what you were kind of alluding to, that a lot of different influences in the band. So of all the ones that so a little R&B, classic rock, little metal, what influences do you guys bring to the band? Like, what did you grow up listening to?
I ended up listening to a lot of like funk. I was a lot of R&B. So
Yeah.
Alan Stone's one of my absolute favorite artists of all
Nice.
time.
Alan's been in the studio many times. We
Really?
love
Oh,
Alan
he's
Stone.
He's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan Stone's one of my absolute favorites. Love Stevie Wonder. Love Michael Jackson. I also have a very big love for pop country. So Luke Combs is one of my absolute favorites.
Okay.
And a lot of hip hop too.
Yeah.
So
I love
I'm
that.
all over the place.
I love Stevie Wonder. Yeah. Show me someone who doesn't, right?
Truly. Everyone with ears should. Yeah.
Spencer, how about you? What were some of your influences? What did you listen to? Was there always music playing in the house? Were you?
Yeah, I mean, so funnily enough, Pop and I actually probably aligned the most out of the band members, like for things that we listened to when we were growing up on that soul R&B kick, like Stevie Wonder. My dad's a massive Prince fan, so there was a lot of Prince playing in the house when I was younger, Michael Jackson, all that stuff. But both of my parents are also Jamaican, so there was a lot of reggae, all that Afro beats kind of stuff playing in the house when I was younger too.
Sure.
So that all came together, and then once I started playing guitar, it was all like rock music, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, like all these blues influenced players that I was like, I need that in my playing. So yeah, a lot of that R&B and soul stuff is something that we align on a lot, and hip hop as well. But where you get really out there is when you start bringing Trent and Jack into the fold, because Trent is a really massive metalhead.
Yeah.
Jack listens to a little bit of everything, but he really loves like folk, like indie folk kind of stuff as well. So we come together in like a really strange way, but I think
Nice
it
kind of
works.
eclectic mix. In fact, Spencer, you were mentioning too, where you were looking at the the various posters we have here in the Lightning 100 studio and kind of naming out the artists that have been here in studio. I didn't know until this morning that Ben Folds also attended the Frost School of Music at
Shout out.
University of Miami, which is very cool. But you also mentioned, Spencer, you were actually part of, we got on the topic of Scott Mulvihill. And you actually played the show at the end of last year, right? At the Analog at Hutton Hotel.
Yeah, and that was a great experience. I mean, just some absolutely monstrous musicians were on that show, like Adam McPhail and like Petar Jancic was on that show as well, and like Laura Behrens, I love her so much as a human being, but also she's like one of my favorite vocalists on the planet. Like it was such an honor to be on that show, and I'm such a big fan of Scott too. Like I saw him play the Database at a show at Eastside Bowl, and I literally had to go up to him and I was like, I've never seen anything like this before. Like it actually like expanded my brain. It altered my brain chemistry watching him play. Like he's incredible, and I would tell him this to his face. As well. He's awesome.
We tell him all the time when he comes into the studio. We love Scott, and awesome. And you mentioned too that you did some BGVs on like the Paul Simon Graceland stuff, but also sang lead on some Prince tunes.
I did.
Which, there you go, man.
Did.
That's
yeah, the Paul Simon stuff was unfamiliar to me, truly. Like, I really hadn't listened to Graceland much. I think I listened to it like once through because I was like, oh, this is one of those albums that everybody says you need to listen to. Right. And diving into it for that show, I was like, wait, this is kind of, I was like, fun fact, Paul Simon's pretty good. Like, this Paul Simon guy has got a long career ahead of him.
And then to hear Scott play it note for note, it's just incredible.
I mean,
man.
and he loves that music so much, and you can tell with the amount of energy that he puts into those shows. Like, it was such an honor to get to be involved, and I hope he asked me back. I would do it again in a heartbeat. It was so fun.
Good morning, Scott Mulvihill.
Yeah, good morning, Scott.
We've got Spencer and Pop in studio. They are two of the four members of Pump Action. They're opening our Nashville Sunday night at 3rd and Lindsley this Sunday. Doors open at 5:30. Pump Action will take the stage at 7, followed by Philip Michael Scales at 8 o'clock. We've gotten to know Philip over the years as well. Are you guys know each other, or is this kind of the first show you're doing together?
First show we've done together. Don't know him personally, but I really like his music. His music's great.
He's we're so I say it all the time, we're spoiled rotten. There's so much talent in this town. It's just why would I go anywhere else?
I agree. That's why we came here.
Yeah, there you go. Relocating from Miami just a couple of years ago, and excited to have them take the stage at 3rd and Lindsley this Nashville Sunday night. So one thing that has happened, it doesn't always happen when we have guests in studio on the morning show, but it has happened quite often that listeners get a chance to hear a song for the first time. So the next song that you guys are going to play, When I Thought You Were the One, has this been, like, have you shown this to the world yet?
We've played it out at but if you've never seen a Pump Action show, you've never heard this song. This song's like not out in the world yet.
So this is a world radio premiere. We can at least say that.
World premiere
on a Monday. Let's get that world premiere with Pop and Spencer of Pump Action and a song called When I Thought You Were the One here on Lightning in the Morning.
All right. Want to count it off?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, there we go again. Scream until we can't speak. I'd probably run if my knees didn't go weak. But then you pull me in. Tell me you won't let go. Say you'll be better, babe, but how am I supposed to know? I'm hanging pictures in a house that's burning down. I think it's time that I got out. Thought I was better then.
Bam. Lightning 100, Pop and Spencer from Pump Action with a world premiere, a stripped down version, if you will, of When I Thought You Were the One. Brand new music from Pump Action. We get to see them this Sunday night out at 3rd and Lindsley. I'm reading from their website, which again is pumpactionofficial.com. Pump Action is a drunk backflip off a moving vehicle executed with perfect form. And it's all about sticking the landing, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
And I got to say, Spencer, for someone who has already said live on the air that you don't usually, as a rule, sing before noon, very impressive at 9:45 a.m.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
But so excited for the show this Sunday night. Again, learn more about Pump Action at pumpactionofficial.com. Grab your tickets at 3rdandlindsley.com. Doors open at 5:30, and Pump Action will take the stage at 7, followed by Philip Michael Scales at 8 o'clock. Guys, it's so great to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
And thank you so much for being here on the show. And I have a feeling that you might be doing some more shows here in town before the year's out. We're not even halfway through the year, so even if that's not in the plans, I'm going to just kind of speak it into existence.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Manifest.
Yeah.
That's right. But we know we'll get to see you this Sunday night out at 3rd and Lindsley. So grab those tickets. And thanks again for being here this morning.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
Right on. We'll see you Sunday night out at 3rd and Lindsley for Nashville Sunday night. Got room for a couple more songs before I wrap things up. And then Stephanie taking over here in the studio right at the top of the 10 o'clock hour.